what they say about the rose out the concrete, flowers blooming in dark rooms, proof of when God speaks. What a passion and grind me. Call it perfect timing or alignment. The assignment provide peace. Confirmation through conversation. My knees been blooded, been praying for patience. Embracing these affirmations, we made it. Hard times, but we made it. Been shaking the devil off under pressure, we never faded. We the living proof of the promise. Being honest, we cut from a different cloth. Black excellence satisfying us, we the living proof. I don't deserve it, far from perfect. A product of taking chances and leaning on his discernment. We the living proof. Living legends, it's a blessing to be a blessing. Providing the youth for the new perspective. We the living proof. The living proof, y'all.
And when we talk about black, it's not just a race thing.
Not at all.
It's not just a black male thing.
What?
It's about the darkness that we have in lives. It's about the things that we have to go through that others actually don't go through at all.
Wow.
So being black, it means you have to travel.
Okay.
You have to deal.
Talk to me.
You have to fight. So when you see these schools pop up, led by the Justus and the Mr. Bryant Kirk White, make sure you register your child. And even if you don't want to have a child there, if you don't have a child to bring there, come on in.
Bro, you kind of prophetic.
We got curriculum for all.
We got the curriculum.
Icelandic ice.
Icelandic water.
Only for the black.
I guess that too.
If you redefine black.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Let me stop screaming.
Y'all, welcome back to another episode of Living Proof. As you already, I feel like all our guests are special. But it's a pleasure to have my brother. I'm gonna let him introduce himself because he got a tagline on how he introduced himself. So I'm gonna let him go ahead and handle it before we jump in. Hit him with it, bro.
Welcome. My name is Bryant, like Kobe. Kirk, like Franklin. White, like the color. It's a blessing to be here. I'm the executive director of A.Bevy, an arts and education nonprofit with a focus on utilizing self-awareness to educate. We bring the arts and education together to formulate the best subject that we believe in life that people should focus on, which is self-awareness, being the better person that you should be.
Most definitely, man. And you know, as you guys know, we definitely been dealing with this whole aspect of healing. And it's definitely no better person to talk to than a brother who really done invested his life. His mission is to provide healing and self-awareness to others. So before we even jump into the questions, my brother, you talked about A.Bevy.
Yes, sir.
What is A.Bevy and what is it designed to do?
A.Bevy, our mission is to produce art and education that assists young adults in discovering their passion, path, and purpose. Outside of our mission, even me looking at that, the best way to say it is we're the school of self-awareness. We want to take the downtrodden, the oppressed, the underprivileged. We want to take those stories. We want to take the things we create. We want to take everything we believe in and package it. Present it to the world from a positive standpoint and say that regardless of these changes that we go through in life, we can progress from it and grow. In regards to, like, no matter what, if it's a bad thing or a positive thing, no matter the change you happen in your life, you don't have to regress. You don't have to become less.
Most definitely.
You can take whatever you're going through, learn from it introspectively, progress and grow from it. Those are our three pillars: change, progression, growth. And so that's what we stand on, and we plan to educate the world. On how you can use those three pillars to become more self-aware and live the life of fulfillment you deserve.
That's big. And even before we jump in, man, how do you correlate being self-aware with healing? Because I personally think they go hand in hand, but what is your, I guess, correlation between self-awareness and this whole aspect that we talk about of healing?
I think self-awareness and healing definitely go hand in hand, because when you're looking at self-awareness, it's a process of self-reflection. It's a process of introspection. So as far as healing, when I look at healing, it's basically taking a negative and making it a positive. That's like big. For me, if I had to define healing, it's taking the negatives you go through, whether it be your trauma, your bad decisions, one thing we've been talking about, like generational curses, just your struggles in general, being able to take those things and flip them to a positive. Being able to say, I can be more because of what's happening to me. Being able to say, these things that are happening to me are going to make me the person I'm supposed to be. Not running from them, but addressing them head on, looking in the mirror and saying, this is who I am because of this.
So, and I understand that, and I guess me, being going through the A.Bevy process, we're gonna talk about that as well. But why is that important to you? You know what I'm saying? Why is that? What comes behind that? You know what I'm saying? The root of it.
I think even if I go back to starting A.Bevy, when my grandfather passed in 2009, my initial thought was like, with life, how can you be here one day and the next day you're gone? Or if you break it down to minute seconds, milliseconds, how can you be here 1 millisecond and the next millisecond you're gone? So what's the value in being here if life is that precious?
Wow.
So as far as what A.Bevy stands on, or what it means to me, is life is bigger than just us. It's bigger than what we have. When my grandfather passed, I asked God, like, why are we here? And the answer I got was, life is not about what we have while we're alive, but it's more so about what we have when we're gone.
Legacy. Whew.
If you can flip that and say life is not about what we obtain while we're here, the things we can get, the money, the fame, it's about what we leave when we're gone.
So with the whole A.Bevy, what is it that Bryant Kirk White wants to leave behind once your time here on earth is up?
The best thing I want to leave is a society. As far as the people I know, if I can call that a society, I want them to be compassionate. I want them to care about others. I want them to recognize that the actions that you produce, the things that you wake up and dream about, the goals you have, should be in some form of alignment with making the world a better place, making the future better than it was before you got here. So the time that we have, which is all we have, is from birth to death. What did you do during that time to ensure that after your death, everything is going to be better than the time you served here?
Most definitely. And we definitely got to bring it to the current situations of what's going on now, man. Things we're seeing. Where do you feel like, and I asked this question before, but I really want to know how it pertains to you. Where do you feel like you fit into this moment that we're in life right now?
I definitely struggle with it. I struggled with it for the first week or two, which kind of brings us to here. Not even to date things, but because it's a continuous struggle. It's a continuous thought process. And it was like, what are we supposed to do when the world continues to challenge the people, who mean the most? What in the world are we supposed to do when the minority doesn't have a voice? What is the world supposed to do when the minority doesn't have a value? And in this situation, we talk about the minority being black people. Then from my standpoint, I used to say, baby, we should get members, who maybe aren't black. But as of now, 99.9% of our members are black. And if nothing else, this time is showing us that maybe for me, it's not about being a political activist. It's not about focusing on specifically changing the laws. Like, what can I do to change the laws? But I know God gave me a lane to be able to educate our youth on how valuable they are, on the fact that when it's their time to change the world, that they can know who they are enough to fight whatever demons, whatever opposition, whatever government is going to try to kill them. So to then have that self-awareness, which is what A.Bevy is here for, it just turned me up to say, okay, let's keep going on what we got.
Man, that's one beyond beautiful. You know what I'm saying? One that you understand that it's not even just about you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
How it's something that gotta live beyond.
It has to.
You know what I'm saying? Be Kirk White. You know what I'm saying? And I feel a lot of us, it takes time to get to that point. And I definitely brought this out, this piece of paper right here, because in essence, my life was changed by attending one of your events, and I gotta give it to you. And I really wish more people was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because of course people would love to turn up. You know what I'm saying? But I want them to be there for the real, the things that's hitting your heart. And so I'm gonna preface this by saying, was it a conference? What would you call it? The early part?
We call it a summit. We call it the summit, and we hope to make it more than just one day, half a day in the future. We want to make it a whole week.
Because I needed more than one day to process all this.
Yeah.
All right. And so even going to my roadmap, it says my life's roadmap.
There you go.
And during the summit, you really challenged us to really dig deep and within. And I like to think of myself as a deep thinker, somebody who done self-reflected on my past. Appreciate that. But just being real, I like to think of myself as somebody who does that on a regular. And so when we was going through these questions, I think it was more so something like you blocked out from your past that you now have to deal with going along that line. I had wrote 3 things down, you know what I'm saying, that really got me thinking differently, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna read my 3 things of things I felt like.
Which precursor, he didn't present these at the summit, so this is my first time.
I didn't
getting to hear this, so this is dope.
And even what's crazy, as people were speaking, it was like, go say yours. But I was like, it's not your time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just understanding that. And so my first point that I felt like that kind of got me on the road I am now, it says the feeling of dying young. And I didn't hear that. One of my other homeboys was somebody who kind of shared that same sentiment. And I know you shared your grandfather, you know what I'm saying, to put things in perspective for you. But mine was the feeling of dying young. I need to get out everything, I need to now. You know what I'm saying? Just in case, you know what I'm saying? Legacy. That's what we talk about. The next one was living out a hotel room. If you've never been homeless, you know what I'm saying, you probably would never understand that. But at the same time, like, it was a part I had to go through. And I don't know whether God teaching me empathy or what. But that was a real time for me. And it's something I blocked out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the last thing was never wanting to go back. And I think that was so key, especially to my personal development. It's like when you done been through something, it's like, I don't care through hell or high water, I'm not going back. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like even we talked about this article that's hanging behind us. It's good, you know what I'm saying, for people to see and things that we've been through. But at the same time, it's like, I ain't trying to go back. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm gonna grind hard. That's why I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, so I don't go back. And so I appreciate you for helping me dig, deeper within myself. And I know I was there with my YBA brothers, and we all said that it was dope that we could do this together.
Appreciate that.
So I appreciate you for helping me to dig deeper, you know what I'm saying, into my own things that I probably blocked out or wasn't trying to really focus on. So, A.Bevy, what y'all doing? Keep doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's the whole goal.
Man, straight up, man. And as y'all know, living proof, man, we dealing with the whole aspect of healing, like I said before. So I am about to pop out the questions to my brother, because we can't talk about helping others heal when we don't get, into our own, personal, either trauma or whatever we want to call it.
Absolutely.
And so for you, my brother, what do you consider, in your own words, a healer? And do you consider yourself a healer?
So just going back to the definition that we were just speaking on, like what healing is or what a healer is like, when you ask me, I'm kind of lost early, because healing is something that a lot of us don't get to really get to. But healing is definitely, again, the idea of flipping that negative to a positive. As far as being a healer, do we get to that point? I think a lot of our drives go from like all of our negatives, even the things you mentioned, and the last point when you're saying, the idea of never going back. As healers, are we willing to say, how can we make that a positive? But I think we're doing it in what we do in our day to day. So I lean on that, and I think that's the most beneficial. But overall, I think healing is taking a negative and making it a positive, whether it's something you do, something someone else does, or something that you're able to experience and it does it for you.
What's that? Do you consider yourself a healer?
I haven't before, but given that definition, I like to think that the things I create, the things that A.Bevy has provided for others, is definitely healing. So I can say myself, I am a healer with that.
Most definitely. And forgive me because I did skip ahead on my questions. And I hate to backtrack, but at the same time, just for the people, man, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Who are you? That's what I feel like we need to just clear out first.
Like my name, or you want me to go like?
Nah, bro.
Take
We're
the
talking
name
about
out.
A.Bevy is about self-awareness, so I
Take
need
the
to
name
know.
out.
Take the name out. Take the profession. Take the accolades.
Yeah.
Take all that out. Who am I sitting beside?
All
right,
the members know we start with like the full name, because it was crazy when I started A.Bevy. Like I met so many people who don't like their middle name or like don't like their name in general, and I was confused about that. But at the same time, as I got older, I learned like different reasons why. But at the end of the day, we are who we are because God placed us here.
Yes, sir.
And you have to embrace that. So as far as who I am, I'm a child of God forever, ever. No matter how old I get, I'm here to serve. At the same time, I'm here to lead, so that makes me a servant leader. And on top of that, I'm a son. I'm a future husband, whatever you want to call it, because I love. I'm a black man. I'm a lover of the arts. I'm a traveler. And at the same time, I'm somebody who cares. I'm somebody who does critical thinking and thinks too deep and believes that we all deserve more. When I look at life, and whether it's God-given or individual-driven, like when I look at life and say all the bad things and negative things that are happening, I wish they wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I wish everybody could conquer their dream, could become who they want to become. You know, I wish they could feel that ultimate level of fulfillment. But because I care, or more so, and because I care, I'm a person who consistently goes out and has conversations, face to face, digital, whatever, and make sure that other people know I care so that they can fuel themselves to live the life they deserve.
Most definitely, man. You just said something, talking about what we deserve in a sense as a people. Can you expand a little bit more on that?
So fulfillment is a word I had to lean on through early times with A.Bevy. It was more so like, you know, what's the product of the nonprofit? Are you building houses? Are you cleaning streets? Are you providing welfare for individuals who need it? Are you paying people's rent? Whatever it was, my goal was never something so tangible. It was I want people to aim for a life that they deserve. And that's literally what fulfillment was to me. And I'm not God, but I know and truly believe in my studies as a Christian that God has a life that's set for us where we're free, where we're happy, you know, where we're excited, where we're engaged, where we're enjoying all the blessings and the fruit that life can give.
Man.
And so if these things exist, how do we get there? Because I grew up looking at a generation before me and a generation 2 steps before me that I don't believe were enjoying that. They were intentionally living a life where they included things that weren't enjoyable and in that weren't fulfilling. So how do we then go to individuals from a middle school age, high school age, and start there and say, you deserve a life of fulfillment? And I forgot your question, but as far as fulfillment, as far as defining fulfillment, that's exactly what it is. And I think that's what answered it.
But I promise you we're going to get into these questions, man, but you really dropped the jewels. Because one thing you said, the first thing you said was to be free. In your mind, bro, what does being free look like? What does that entail? And I hope I ain't dropping it too deep right now.
That's pretty simple for me.
Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah,
man.
being free is pretty simple to me. That's just being yourself. It's being able to be yourself. It takes time, it takes experience to discover who you are as yourself. But as you gradually discover that, freedom is being able to do that. Freedom is being able to literally wake up and not have to second guess what's going on, or should I do this, or where I'm going, or should I be here. All those are irrelevant when you're free. And whether we talk about, again, what's going on now, or whether we talk about A.Bevy, those two things, introspective or looking at the real world, we have a battle when it comes to being able to be who we are and be free doing that.
Man, you dropping some gems, my brother. You
chilling,
dropping. I switched to the red cup too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Icelandic ice.
The
Icelandic ice.
I switched to the red cup. But even with that, man, my next question would be just the obstacles you had in life. Even talking about A.Bevy, we already know it had a purpose.
Yes, sir.
But in what way do you feel like the obstacles in your life led to who we're looking at right now?
Yeah, at the gate, as far as the history of A.Bevy, it started with my grandfather passing and questioning death. After that, it started with like me questioning myself and doing the Why Are You Alive tour and understanding that my story that I have is congruent to a lot of stories that a lot of other youth have, especially from a collegiate standpoint. And then following that, once I dove into the arts and I moved to Charlotte and just looking at the progression of how the arts can speak, it definitely led A.Bevy to a point of literally being a school. Because I learned the most about charter schools in Charlotte. Charlotte has a lot of charter schools compared to the Carolinas. I mean, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Big shout out to South Carolina.
864.
You know, 864. But we're making strides to be that, emblem of, what the future can look like. And this time is better than any time. So A.Bevy definitely has followed that precursor from my grandfather's passing up to now to become what we are and being what I would call the school of self-awareness. And that's where all our goals are leading us.
True, man. That's what's up, man. And personally, what do you feel like are some things that you might have blocked out from your past that now you have to deal with?
Blocked out. Definitely a relationship with my father. Relationship with my mother. Not more so relationship, but understanding of my mother. Like how dope she is, but also embracing how she became so dope. Like what she had to go through, the ups and downs to become so dope. I'd say dealing with what a man is. How many you want? I can keep going.
Man, keep going, bro. Keep going, bro. We got time.
As far as like what a man is, the responsibilities of a man, like what a good man looks like. What are we supposed to do? It's so much. I'm getting married, so it's a lot as far as that man joint. And then outside of that, if we talk about like religion, relationship with God, how that lines up, that was an obstacle that I'm glad to be working on and overcame and working on as far as that personal relationship with God and how we live that life. We jump into careers, an obstacle that comes with like, do you just want to settle, which is good nor bad, for security, or settle for gambling?
That's what it is.
Trying things, shifting the culture. All of those are synonyms. So all of those things. If you want to talk about like relationships with other young men, I went a long time not really connecting with a lot of young men. Even when I pledged Alpha, I did it because I was like yearning. I didn't even recognize that I was yearning for like a connection with other brothers, because I literally have an inert disdain for other black men.
And that's real. That's real. So even going to that, what you talked about, that disdain.
You cut the list off. Y'all check later. We do another episode later. We're going to make that list longer.
We definitely going to have to dig back in.
We do a lot as black men. We go through a lot as black men.
But I just want to know, did that have anything to do with your relationship with your father? You talking about that want and then, because I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? I did not have a relationship, especially with my biological father.
Yeah.
Even with my stepdad, it was rough.
Yeah.
So do you think that personal connection you want into, I guess that attraction with other black men, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that came from that void your father left?
I think all those things I just mentioned come from not having a father, or at least to a certain extent. So that's very important. And my father has passed now, so it's kind of like trying to retract my steps and redo those things, or as we're talking about today, redo that healing that I missed out on.
That's real. That's real. And so looking at B White now, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like somebody I look up to. You know what I'm saying? Like 100%. What areas in your life do you feel like you still need healing in?
I think I need healing with my past. I think I need healing with my anxiety, which if you take the mental health aspect out of it, like healing with my stress, healing with my overthinking. So I say healing with my overthinking, healing with my self-confidence. I question myself at times, but it's like a up and down scale, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have that up, where it's like I'm lit, I'm ready, I want to do it. But what comes with the higher you go up also comes like a lower down.
Most definitely.
At times you question.
And I'm glad
yourself.
you understand that, bro. Like most people can't relate to that aspect of being a B White. You know what I'm saying? That when everybody sees you, you know what I'm saying, they see you, you know, on this level. You know what I'm saying? And so even having the real times where you can, like I ain't got it today. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I think that's real, man. And really welcome the whole platforms of living proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, people see us, you know what I'm saying, on this level. But at the end of the day, we still working through things, you know, ourselves. And I feel like we'll be doing people a disservice thinking we always, you know, on 10. You know what I'm saying? We always got it together. And I guess my next question to you would be like, where do you go to heal? You know what I'm saying? Where do you go to get filled back up? Because like myself, I feel like you're one of the ones. That's one of the reasons I look up to you, for real.
I appreciate it.
Because it's like, this man doing the work. You know what I'm saying? This man about to get married. You know what I'm saying? Like me, just bought a crib. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my fiance. You know what I'm saying? Like he's traveling a trajectory that I want to travel. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I said, people see them highs. You know what I'm saying? I really see the lows. So for you, where is your place, or mentally, wherever it's at, where do you go to heal?
I mean, my question with that, like my response is more so like, do I heal? Like, am I really taking the time to flip those negatives to a positive? So if I had to say those places, I definitely say my fiance. I'm in love with her because she does check me on the rights that are actually wrongs. And that aligns directly with like healing, because that's a negative that should be a positive. Like, so let's work on that. My mother, and that's just random, like it'll be random combos. What you got going on? How you feeling?
How you feeling? That's the main one, right?
And you end up venting, and she just reads something about you that's like, okay, something a little shaky. She ain't gonna say that, but she'll be like, hey.
What's crazy, my mother the same way, boss.
Yeah,
like the other night, man, I guess she could feel that I was mentally exhausted. Just called me, praying for you, trying to kind of put context of why you feeling like you feeling. Yeah. So, and your mama is dope, bro. Like for real, she is a dope woman, man, for real.
Shout out to her. And then I say, if it's two more, I'll say third will be, I got a select group of friends. It's less than 5 people, to where I can call them and just talk, and they'll read me in certain ways. They have no problem checking me and whatnot. But even with that, it's kind of like I got to be willing to do that. As far as the first 2 steps, where it's like, the first one is kind of like I'm checking you. The second one is like it's a natural thing. The third one is kind of like I got to be willing to step into that, and I'm proud that I'm stepping into the idea of using that. And fourth would be, I say my most used, even whether it comes to my fiance, my mom, or my friends, my most used would be like eating M&Ms.
Talk to me. What M&Ms do for you, bro? Because I would have had a pack waiting for you if I had those.
M&Ms do a lot for me. So I decided, like, I didn't even told you this before, but I decided, like, I think maybe 16 M&Ms to me, like, more important. Not the wrapper, not the candy, but like music and movies. Okay. So that's where I pulled it from. That's dope, but this y'all first time hearing this.
Most definitely, it's real dope. Cause I was thinking candy, like, bro, what candy?
I could have got you M&Ms, and you'll be able to heal. But music and movies really changed my life. Music taught me everything. I want to say everything. I'm sure somebody can prove me wrong, but music taught me so much where I am today. I talked to my best friend the other day, and it was like, bro, we literally grew up from like 10 to 14 basing our life as young men off of what we heard on music. And so, and now when it comes to movies, like that's my escape. And I include like TV shows and movies too. I'm like an HBO stan, so like the dramas and mainly the dramas on HBO, like that's like my thing. Like I really sit on those and really take in the underlying concepts and meanings with those HBO dramas. So I miss going to the movies. Big shout out to COVID. It did its thing. We ready to get you over with.
Yeah.
But as far as like going to the movies, I can go to a movie theater by myself. I get my popcorn and my Coke. That's a necessity. I know some people may not. They may sneak stuff in. They may do whatever.
We do.
I need my Coke. I need a small Coke, and I need my popcorn with like extra butter layered halfway. And I go in there, and I'm able to zone out, look at the life of someone else, even though it's imaginary. There's something in that because somebody wrote it that applies to what we're actually living today. And that goes the same with music. So Eminem's, I say, is probably my most important thing.
Music and movies.
Music and movies. Yeah.
You
no candy.
Got me.
No candy.
I was
he was ready. He was like, dang, I could have got my man some
bro?
candy.
Straight up. Like that's all it takes.
Yeah, man. M&M's is cool too. I like the peanut joints. I don't like too much chocolate. So
I think I like the peanut joints too. The chocolate ones, it ain't no much in them. But the peanuts.
Send M&M's to the 864.
Straight up. My boy B White need the M&M's with the peanuts in them. If they ain't got peanuts in them, don't send them.
Facts.
Straight up. Man, first of all, let me just say, because I'm a big proponent of being in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, I appreciate your vulnerability. I appreciate you being open. And I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, getting to a point where you're self-aware. You know what I'm saying? And also, like, I think people got to understand it's a journey.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people can look at us and be like, in the sense they made it, in the sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not understand the fact that we still battle daily.
Yeah.
And so my next question to you, man, how are you using your story right now to navigate through life?
I'm using my story now to navigate through life. My biggest battle right now is like the idea of like what man I want to be. Like what's the vision, what's the goals, what's the layout, what's the plan. Again, that overthinking.
Yeah.
Which may be a flaw or a generational.
You're not the only one. I'm not gonna lie. You're not the only one.
So as a black man, it's like looking at those aspects and wanting to become that man that does the right things.
And that definitely, you know what I'm saying, it takes time, one. And I know something similar we both share is the fact of, you know, going into that next step of being, you know, wanting to commit yourself to another person.
Absolutely.
I know you talked about you just finished counseling. What has that done for you as a man? Thinking about, you know, your past, the way you once thought and the way you think now going into this matrimony, you know what I'm saying? Like, what has that done for you?
Man, counseling is lit, man. Counseling is amazing because you're able to give, you know, your honest truth, but also able to get like the real. Because from someone who is not basically judging you on like who you are.
That's real.
Even when I look at therapy, like you can even take the counseling out of it. Just the idea of like therapy, saying we're both gonna sit here and be honest, and then we're gonna let somebody else tell us, you know, what the basis of these feelings psychologically. You know, when it comes to science, it's a lot of things that people can like go against. But as far as the psychology of it, me being a man, me going through that counseling showed me what really matters. You know, no matter the arguments I get into, no matter the disagreements I get into, you can still know what really matters in this life. And that aligns with everything else we talked about as far as compassion and bigger than that, love. Because love is what we all need.
You said it, man.
Yeah.
You said it. First of all, I hate that I'm out of questions. You know what I'm saying? I really do.
I'm chilling, man.
Because it's been a pleasure talking to you. And I think the biggest thing for me is having somebody like-minded. You know what I'm saying? And when I say the term like-minded, it doesn't mean we in turn think the same way and move the same way. But it's just we share commonalities, you know what I'm saying, in our thought process. So I definitely this has been confirmation for me as well. You know what I'm saying? Definitely for one of my idols. You know what I'm saying?
We twins, man. I'm trying to tell you, fusion game.
I'm to fusion game. If they ain't got a full fusion, hit me up.
What?
You know what I'm saying? But seriously, like even when I remember my homeboy coming up to me and he was like, "Bro, you know B White, you gotta meet B White. You gotta meet B White." You know what I'm saying? And I was, in my mind, I was just like, "Who is this dude?" You know what I'm saying? and just in due time, you know what I'm saying, that it happened. And the fact that we even where we at now, you know, to sit down and connect, man, it's definitely a beautiful thing, man. And I don't say that lightly. Even the conversation we had off camera, bro, like, you just don't know how much I appreciate you. I appreciate your spirit. And if I can offer any bit of encouragement, it's not just keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's needed. Even when I brought out the paper, you know what I'm saying, that helped me.
That's a whole year.
You know what I'm saying, really dig deep. And so it's just like when you do get to them down times, when you do get to the points, because I get to them too, where it's like, it's what I'm doing really worth it. You know what I'm saying? So it helped me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that person. If you help one, because I don't believe in just helping one. I feel like we work too hard just to help one.
I like that.
But I do appreciate you, bro. And definitely, you know what I'm saying, hopefully, you know what I'm saying. I know, first of all, your story is going to help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Being able to look at things you've been through, things you're still dealing with. But at the same time, you Mr. Bryant Kirk White, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I definitely appreciate you. And I do want to leave the opportunity for any last words or anything.
Check this out. This is living proof. This is living proof, right? Even the term, the definition. Let's break it down to proof. Proof is something you can see. You see my hand, right? You see this article behind my hand. You see the man behind my hand. All right. So when we talk about living, it's the idea that when we gotta equate proof, it comes to something that's intangible. It comes to something that we really, you know, we just read about. You know what I mean? It's like what we read in school, like Greek mythology.
All that.
You know what I mean? We ain't never seen Zeus.
But we done read about him.
It's proof that you can be powerful. But what we saying here is this living proof. And so to return the favor, when we talking about living proof, when we talk about A.Bevy and we say change, progression, growth, when we talk about change being the obstacles we have to face in life that we didn't ask for, when it comes to progression and saying we took a stance to say, I'm going to progress no matter what that change is, especially when it's negative. And then we're going to grow from that and become a better person and apply it to the world and give back to others. This man right here is living proof of why A.Bevy exists, why change, progression, growth is important, and why the future of this world, the future, no matter how much we struggling now, because 2020 is some shit, it's going to be better because we got living proof for that. That's real.
Man, listen, I don't even have anything else to say. I wish I could come back with some better words. As you see the shirt, it says pursue you. You know what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing when we're talking about self-awareness. Just pursue you, who God has called you to be, and really understanding and unpacking that. And we talk about this whole aspect of healing. You really can't help others heal. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't dealt with yourself. And I gotta put out there that no, it's not no perfect journey. It's not pretty. You know what I'm saying? And we're dealing with it. Yeah, y'all may see us here, you know what I'm saying? But in the nighttime, you know what I'm saying, what we're really dealing with, what's going through our minds. And so, man, bruh, I appreciate you, man. You just don't, what do you ever know? And we brought the Icelandic red cups out.
Icelandic ice.
So that's how you know it's real. But this has been another episode of Living Proof with my brother. So make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
It's B White.
Well, your purpose is within your story, and we are out.
Peace out.